Hey there, and welcome. So let's be honest, diving into SAP S4HANA sales can feel a bit overwhelming, right? Kind of like being handed a giant, complicated map with no legend. But what if you had a guide to walk you through it? Well, that's exactly what this is all about. We're going to demystify the whole learning journey and give you a really clear, straightforward path to follow.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll get the big picture of what S4HANA sales even is. Then, we'll dig into the core business process it handles. From there, we'll map out your learning journey, check out the digital tools you'll have, and finally, talk about how to really make it stick with practice. Sound good? Let's jump in.
Okay, let's start with the big picture. Before we get into all the nitty-gritty details, we've got to build a solid foundation. You know, what is SAP S4HANA sales and why does it even exist? What problem is it really trying to solve?
So, let's get right to it. It's the most basic question, but it's the most important one. You've probably heard the name thrown around a lot, but what exactly is SAP S4HANA sales? What does it actually do for a business on a day-to-day basis? Okay, think of it this way. SAP S4HANA Sales isn't just another app on your computer. It's more like the central nervous system for the entire sales process. Its main purpose, its whole reason for being, is to connect every single step, everything, from the very first hello from a customer all the way to the final payment hitting the bank. It creates one single, smooth, integrated flow. And that word right there, integration, that's the magic ingredient. It's the key to everything.
So we've talked about this integrated process, but what does that actually look like in the real world? To really get why this software is such a big deal, you need to understand the core business journey it's designed to run. And that journey has a name, order to cash. Honestly, the name kind of says it all, right? It's the entire life cycle of a sale. It starts the second a customer places an order and doesn't end until the cash is in the company's account. Every single step in between is managed right inside this one process.
Okay, so this all sounds good, but it leads to a really important question. Why? Why go to all the trouble of integrating everything? What's the payoff? What are the real tangible benefits for a business?
Oh, the benefits are huge. For starters, everyone in the company gets instant access to the same master data. You know, your critical customer and product info. So no more typos or out-of-date information floating around. Then, it standardizes all your processes. This means everyone is working from the same playbook, which is a game changer for consistency. Naturally, this makes everything way more efficient because all the different steps can talk to each other automatically. And maybe the best part, since everything is connected, you can actually look at the whole process and see what's working and, just as importantly, what isn't, so you can keep making things better.
All right, so we've covered the what and the why. Now let's get to the how. How do you actually go about learning this thing? Because it's not about just memorizing a bunch of buttons and menus. It's about following a smart, structured path that leads you to really mastering it.
And this is your roadmap right here. It's laid out perfectly. You're going to start with just discovering S4HANA Sales, getting that 30,000-foot view. Then you'll get comfortable navigating the Fiori Launchpad, which is the cool modern interface. After that, you'll learn about organizational units. That's basically how this system understands a company's structure. And only then, once you have that foundation, do you dive into running the full order-to-cash process yourself. And to top it all off, you'll learn how to use analytics to keep an eye on everything. See? It's a really logical flow from the basics to the real-world application.
Okay, so you've got the map for your journey. Now let's talk about the gear you'll have in your backpack. Because every good journey needs the right toolkit, right? And here it is, your complete digital toolkit. You've got reading materials and videos to explain the big ideas. Then you get system demos that literally show you, click for click, how to do things. After you watch, it's your turn. You get to jump into a totally safe practice system with hands-on exercises. And to wrap it all up, you've got quizzes to help make sure the knowledge really sticks. It's this complete cycle of learning that's designed to get you from I don't know to I got this. And this brings us to what I think is the most important part of all, making that jump from just watching and learning to actually doing. Because let's be real, that's where the magic happens. That's where the real learning kicks in. I mean, this quote just nails it, doesn't it? Knowing stuff is great, but knowledge is only really valuable when you can actually use it to get things done. So let's look at the two main ways you're going to practice.
First, you've got the system demos. Think of these as watch and learn. It's your guided tour where you just sit back and see how it's done. But then you have the exercises. This is do and master. This is where you get in the driver's seat. You take what you just saw and do it yourself, building that all-important muscle memory in a practice system that's completely safe. You literally can't break anything, so you can experiment and learn without any stress.
And last but not least, the quizzes. Now, don't think of these as scary tests. They're not. They're just your personal progress checks. They're a simple tool to help you see what you've totally nailed down and maybe spot any areas you might want to circle back to before you move on to the next thing.
So there you have it. Your guided tour is complete. We've looked at a clear map of what S4HANA Sales is, we've laid out the path to learning it, and we've gone through the entire toolkit you'll have for the journey. Everything you need is right here. So the only question left is the most exciting one. Where are you going to start?
All right. Well,